Okay. I apologize, attendees. We began the presentation without starting the broadcast. Can everyone hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I think everybody else is on listen mode, so we're going to just restart what we just did for a second. So, good evening once again. My name is Tony Harrison. I'm a member of the Alexandria Fairfax, Virginia chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, Eastern Province Guide Right Chair, and Kappa Alpha Psi STEM Committee Chair. We're very excited to have everyone here on the call this evening. A little background before we begin. Kappa Alpha Psi, the National Society of Black Engineers, recently signed a 3-year MOU outlining the collaboration of NSBE and Kappa Alpha Psi to reach the primary goal of increasing the number of African American bachelor's degree recipients in engineering to 10,000 annually by 2025. With the agreement, NSBE and Kappa have pledged to promote and facilitate STEM education and career readiness for pre-college students. Kappa Alpha Psi established 6 regional Guide Right NSBE Junior chapters to provide students in grades 3 to 12 with supplemental STEM curricula and exposure to STEM concepts and career opportunities. Our goal this year is 1,000 Guide Right students in NSBE Junior. Our presenter this evening is Ms. Cecilia Pitt, Membership and Registration Manager for the National Society of Black Engineers. The webinar will focus on how to create a user profile, how to sign up for NSBE Junior membership, how to complete bulk registrations, and how to sign up for conferences. As a reminder, this webinar now is being recorded, and we want to thank Kellogg Foundation for sponsoring the Diamonds in the Rough webinar series, and I will turn the presentation over once again to Cecilia Pitt. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name again is Cecilia Pitt, and I will be showing you in this webinar again how to register for national membership, how to add your officers and the actual chapter navigation panel, and then also how to register your students for national convention. Our NSBE Connect portal is a great wealth of information that you're not only able to navigate your personal profile, but also the chapter profile. I will, do I have the screen now?
The screen, you want me to make you the presenter?
Yes.
Okay, let's move over.
Okay. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just navigate you through the NSBE Connect system. To get to our NSBE Connect system, you can do this one or two ways. You can log into www.nsbe.org, and this will take you here. Or can everyone see my screen okay?
I'm going to unpause and have it down. Okay.
Okay, but you can see my screen okay, right? Okay. So I'm just going to put this over here so that this is out of the way. Okay, what you should be seeing now is our NSBE webpage. This has a wealth of knowledge, and here you can see where you're able to log into NSBE, and you can log into NSBE Connect. It shows you all of the new things that are going on. If you would like to go straight to our NSBE Connect webpage, you can type in connect.nsbe.org, and that will take you directly to our user portal where you're able to log in. And I'm going to log in as a person that chapter officer that already has a lot of chapters underneath them, just so that you can see a full scope of how our system works. Okay. One moment. Okay. Now, as you can see, it says, welcome Leslie Frazier. That's how you know that you're in the system. Here you can see a person's profile. You can view your payments that you personally have made in the past. And where you want to go to find out about all of your chapter information is under the My Groups tab. Pretty soon, this is going to change. Instead of it saying My Groups, it will say My Chapters. And when you drop down, if you do not see the chapters function, then that means that you are not an advisor and you do not have the ability to go in and add your members. Now, if you need to be added as an advisor, please talk to your regional leaders and they will add you because they all have access to this part. So the first thing you would want to do is go to the Chapters tab, and that will take you straight to the chapters that you're an advisor for. As you can see, this particular person is an advisor for many chapters because, like you all, she's over, she is within a MOU with us, and she's connected to many chapters. And as you can see, once you log in, it will show you what your role is under that chapter. So if you go to the My Groups tab and this tab right here, chapters, is not there, the first thing you would want to do is be added as an advisor for that particular region so that you can add your members. And again, your regional leadership will assist you with that. Once that happens, whatever chapter that you're connected to or region that you're connected to will immediately show here. The first thing you would do is click on the particular chapter that you will be adding your students to or doing any type of maintenance. Here, you will see all your active members. They will come onto this screen first. If you do not see any active members, then that means that you do not have any active members in your chapter and you need to add them. This is easily done by two ways, which is our renew membership and new membership. In the past, you would have had to create a personal profile by going under NSBE Connect for each person individually and individually making a payment for each person. Well, that's not really working when you have hundreds of members in your chapters. So we've made it easy for you by having two tabs. I'm going to take you under the Renew Membership tab first. This will show any members that you've had in your chapter last year. This means that you will not have to add and update their information. You will simply just need to select that person, choose their chapter, and just answer the residual questions that are here that are that will update that person's personal profile. We have also made it so that you have a choice whether to send the NSBE Bridge magazine to the person's home address or your advisor's address. If you choose the person's home address, please re-verify that address by just adding it here. Okay, so for example, I'm going to choose Dante Mack. I'm going to choose his chapter as Baltimore, Baltimore Links. Let me find it. I'm going to say that he is a 12th grader, and yes, he did complete algebra prior. I'm going to have his magazine shipped to the advisor address so that I won't have to fill in the personal address, because whatever is in the profile is going to stay. This is specifically for any written material that we give through NSBE, where that will go. And it's easier for it to go to the advisor's address versus the student's address, because we found in the past that our members were not receiving their magazines. So if the advisor receives it in bulk, they're able to pass it out through the chapter. And from there, you renew membership. And as you can see, that person goes to the cart. Now, I'm going to go back under the My Groups tab under chapters, and you can do multiple people at once. So I'll just show you that one more time here under the Renew Membership. So you don't have to choose one person at a time under this tab. You can update all this information in bulk. So you could do Brandon, Kai. Just make sure that you choose the correct chapters, which is Bucksmore. Filling out the residual information. Bridge. Let me pull this down a little bit. And then this one wants it to their home address. We'll say 123 Home Lane, Johns, Maryland. And I'll do 2616. And as you can see, once I added all those double people, they all came onto this one invoice. Now, you have an option to make your payment here, or you can go back and add your new members, so that can all be on one. They can all be on one invoice. So, say you have a slew of new members. You go under the New Membership tab, and you click here to add a new member. So I'm going to use this person, Charlene Pastor, and our email is cpastor. And these are all the questions that you would answer if you were filling out a person's personal profile one at a time. But here, it just gives you the option to do it all at once. United States, Maryland. And here you have the opportunity to choose what type of member they are and answer the residual questions that they have. And then you choose your chapter. And it's very important that you choose the chapter so that person can show up once you make your payment. And then if you want to add another member, you just keep going, and I'll add one more person so that you can see. And see, as you can see, as you add each person, you can have a full list of people. And then you can move to the cart. And see, here is a full cart. Now, this is very important. Before you register your students for any of our conferences, you have to make sure that they are members. If you do not make sure that they're members, then the system will not be able to give them the correct membership rate for the conference, and you'll see that it'll be a larger charge. And we will have to go back and correct that on the back end, and we definitely don't want to do that. We want to make sure that everything's right the first time. Now, if you have a campaign code or anything here, this is where you would apply it. You're only able to apply it on this screen, okay? Now, say, you know what? It's a couple of people I want to add to this, but I do not know their information, so I want to save this cart and come back to it later. So what you do is you save the cart, and you can name the cart regional. You can name the cart anything that you want to. So I'll put regional demo, and I'll put save as new cart. And there your cart is saved. So if you were to sign out and come back in, all you would do is go under your profile, under that open cart, and you see there are two different carts. You just remember which cart it was, and you go underneath that cart, and you're able to continue. But now we just want to go ahead on and check out. So here you go. We're going to press the checkout. And the great thing about our system is it gives you multiple opportunities to verify that these are the people that you want to pay for. So as you can see, it gives you shipping details. It gives you your order summary. It also gives you an opportunity to remove people from the cart if you need to. So for example, oh, I don't think Dante wants to do it anymore, so we're going to remove him from the cart. You don't have to, all you have to do is click this here, these two buttons and these tabs here, and make sure you remove the subscription. And then once you go to the next step, Dante will automatically be removed, or that person or that order information will automatically be removed. Again, it shows you all the information here. If you need to go back, this is where you would choose and change again. So we give you about 2 to 3 opportunities to change the information or add if you need to. Now, this is where you would put in credit card information. We're unfortunately not able to accept checks online. The only thing that we're able to accept online is credit cards. Or if you're not ready to pay, you choose the Bill Me Later option. And what will happen is you don't have to put anything in the PO number, or if you want to, you can put NA. And you complete your order. Now, I want to go back and pay this order. So what you would do is go under your payments, and you can view all open invoices. So as you can see, here's the open invoice, and you're able to make a payment. You're also able to make partial payments. So say you only wanted to pay $5, you would just change the amount here. Fill in the credit card information and make a payment. Okay? The next thing I want to show you in this portal, now that you have active members, is how to add your officers. So here you'll see where you can edit chapter information, which is where you can edit the mailing address. You're able to view your officers, and these shows all the advisors and the current leadership that you have on the account. If you want, for historical purposes, to view past past leaders, you're able to also view this here, and then you're able to view them all, whether they're current or past. Under this tab, meetings, I believe this is a tab that we will be adding very soon, where you're able to manage personal chapter meetings. That we haven't updated that tab yet. We're in the process of doing that, and hopefully it will be next year when this tab will be available. Also, we're in the process of updating our Pay for Chapter tab. That means that any person that in the past that has an invoice that's connected to your chapter, you would be able to see their old invoices and make a payment here. But this information is also under the same, which is the renew membership and the new membership. So you're able to make and renew old past you're able to renew past members here under the renew membership tab. The next tab that we're going to dive into a little bit deeper is our manage officers tab. Here is where you're able to add new officers. Here you're able to add new officers and also delete officers and make updates and changes. So as you can see, there are 2 advisors, there's 1 program chair, and there's a senator. We want to make sure that our chapter is active, so we need to add our president, our vice president, our secretary, and our treasurer. Here is where you would just add officers. So you can do this by 2 ways. You can add by the officer's email address or the member's email address, or you can add it by the member's member number. You can't add it by the person's name because we have multiple people who have the same name. So that's why we didn't do it this way. So I'm going to show you by a person's email address. So you click search by email, and as you can see, Nicole Yates comes right up. So then you're able to set that person's start date, which will start it as today, 12/12/2017, and we'll have it expire. I'm going to have it expire 12/13, which is tomorrow, because this is a live account, and I don't want to send up any red flags. And you're able to pick that person's role. So it's very important, as you can see, that you add a start date and that you add an end date, and you choose their role, and you create a new officer. Okay. Sure. Comes up. They have to come back in. Hold on, let me do it one more time. Okay, and here you'll see Nicole Yates, and she's listed as a president. So this, I feel like out of all of the functions that we have, this is the easiest function that you can add to do. It's very easy, but the most important thing about this function, in order for it to work, is to make sure that you have the correct email addresses for your members so they can be added. And just remember that in order for you to have an active chapter, you have to have at least 5 active members and your chapter officers, which are your president, your vice president, your treasurer, your secretary, your programs chair, and your senator. Now, if you don't have if you don't have more than 5 people to fill the roles, you can double up the role. So, for example, the president can be the senator, or they can be the programs chair until you get more members, and then you can go in and make updates. Okay, so now we have our members. Now they are active and they're all set. We want to go ahead on and register students for the conference. And yes, I believe she's active. One thing I need to do, give me 1 second, I just need to verify that this person's active so you can see this. 1 moment. Do this. I'll put mine. Okay.
Cecilia, while you're doing that search, can you also show, I was trying to get members in the audience to let me know what states they were from, but can you show how to search for the Kappa Guy Regional Chapter in Region 4?
Okay, that's a great question. So that would be on the website. So you would go on the website. Click on membership. Where is it at? Try this again. Of course, it's a. It's under chapters. That's what it's under. But this is not coming up. 1 minute. Oh. I don't know why this doesn't come up for me. Maybe if I go this way.
Is the preferred way to go through NSBE Connect or go through that, find the chapter in your area to register?
You can find a chapter in your area, but for some reason my system is not allowing the option to come up where it says chapter and you're able to view your chapters. Where you're able, it says find your chapter. So once this button right here will have a drop down option that says chapters, and then you're able to find your chapter here. But let me see. I don't believe that this one is the one that works. No, that one doesn't work. So it's supposed to be membership, and then there's a chapter. Once you hover over here, it's supposed to be a chapter option where you're able to go in, and then a map comes up, and you can type in that information, and it gives you the information about the chapter. But for some reason, my system is not allowing it to come up, and so that means I might have to check and see why that option isn't happening. I can circle back with you on that and make sure that I do a written format of how to do that. Okay. So what I will do is, because that's not working on my system, I will send a written format as a follow-up so that the Kappa members are able to go through that process. Is that okay, Tony?
That's okay. So in this My Chapter search there's no way to find it in there?
Sometimes that works and sometimes that does not work. So I don't want, that's not the most reliable way to do it. So like you could put NSBE Junior, and you could put God Right. It might come up. See, it might come up, it might not. So I want to make sure that I give you the most reliable way to do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And so the last thing that I want to show you is how to register for a conference. Now, the first thing we want to do is to go under the My Activities tab, and I'll do that again, which is here, and it'll say Register for an Event. And here, all of our events will be listed as they are available for that month or the week that they're available. So, for example, when we had our 6 FRCs, they were all listed. But the only thing that we have coming up at this point is our national convention, which is in March. So you would click on the national convention. It gives you a little bit of information about our convention. It gives you the registration rates. And it also gives you a little bit of how to register. Here, if it says if you're a current member, you do not need to select your registration type. This is very, very important. That is why, remember when I circled back and I said it's very important that you add your members first and make sure that they are activated as full members before you register for an event. This is where it's going to be important. Okay? So now you go down and you say, hey, I'm going to register for an event. So you will register now. As you can see, under the registration types, there are no options that say NSBE Junior, Professional, or anything like that because the system is very intuitive. It already knows what you are. Now, just a little bit of a trick to give you a discount as a advisor. Always choose the NSBE Junior Chaperone option because that is going to be the lowest rate as an advisor that you can get for any of our conferences. If you choose just the advisor option, it may be a little bit more expensive by $50. So you as an advisor, you can choose this option, but your students don't have to. And I'll get back into that a little bit more in just a second. So Leslie Frazier, she's like, I want to come in as an advisor / NSBE Junior Chaperone. I'm going to choose my type. You fill out all of your information. It's very important to choose your food preference. Put in your emergency contacts. If you have any special accommodations, you write the notes here. And you fill out this little survey if it's your first time coming to the conference, if you're interested in volunteering. And then please agree to our NSBE Code of Conduct, and then you add yourself. Now, as you can see, this screen disappears. All the information disappears from that. The next thing you would want to do is add your chaperones. And that would be, again, choosing the drop-down as a chaperone advisor, and that person would have to have an email address. Now, this email address cannot be connected to anyone else's email address in our system, meaning that child, if they're saying, oh, I want to use the same email address that my child is using, the system is not going to allow you to do that because the unique identifier is the email address. So I'm going to put in a new one, so I'll put in Bobby Jones, and then I'll put in a new email, which is Jones. Did I spell it right? No, I didn't. Jones2@gmail.com. I'll put in this food preference as a vegetarian. His emergency contact will be my mom. Shout out to her. And again, filling out this information. add the attendee. And for every 6 kids, you need 1 chaperone. So if you have 12 kids, you need 2 chaperones, and et cetera, et cetera. Oh, I must have missed something. Did I miss anything? Is this not? What needs to work with me? Let me take this out. Okay, that might be somebody's email. That was actually somebody's real email address. My apologies. See how the system is very fickle, and if you do not add a different email address, it will not allow you to go any further. So now you've added your chaperones, all of them first, and you can also add other members. So if you wanted to register your mom and they were a non-member, so we'll just do a different person that's a non-member. So I'll do Marion Kane, M. Kane at direct.org. And she's her own person. And she's a non-member, so I'm okay with paying that huge non-member rate, so she's here. And so now I'm going to start adding people who are actually members. So I'm going to add a different Cecilia Pitt. So you have to make sure that all of the information matches, especially their name and email address, that it matches. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to add a professional member. And now that I've added all of my folks, I'm going to proceed to checkout. Now, as you can see, there are different rates. So, for example, you see in a registration for me, which is $150, which is the current rate for the PCI. You'll also see a registration for Marion Kane, who's a non-member, which is $650. And then you'll see 2 registrations that were chosen under the chaperone rate for $150. And then you'll see Nicole Yates, who is a professional, for $350. So you see how the system automatically knew who was what and gave the correct rate to that person? That is simple as that. And now we check out. And again, it gives you another opportunity to view your cart and make sure these are all the people that you want to use and that you want to pay for. And then you go to the next step. Where here you would pay or you could choose the bill me later option. And that's where you would complete the order. Again, if you want to see this order, you would go under the View Open Invoices tab, where you'll see there are two separate orders, one for membership where you can pull up and you can see all of the information here where it shows memberships. And here is the other invoices, which is for your registration. Now, if you want to pay for both of these at once, you would just leave the payment amount there. If you don't want to pay, if you just want to pay for your memberships and you don't want to pay for registrations yet, you would delete that and make sure that it's zero so that you will only be paying for this amount. That's very important also. And that's all I have for my groups tab, how you navigate the NSBE Connect system. I've taken you through every single tab here. I've showed you how you can verify if your members are active or inactive. Basically here, if you see them here on the front screen of the My Groups tab, when you click on the chapter, if you see them all here, that means that they are active. If you do not see their name here, that means that they are not active or they're not connected to your chapter. You can edit your chapter address here. Again, you can view your chapter officers. You can update your chapter officers. Okay, and you can also view meeting registrations, meaning all people who have paid for their membership, paid for their registration and they're under your chapter, you will be able to see all of their registrations. And the last two things are you can renew your memberships and you can add new members to your chapters. So that's everything that I have. If you have any questions, I'm going to one thing I do want to say is some things that can make things easy for you before you start this whole process. Go on connect.nsbe.org and create a profile. You do not have to pay for membership unless you want to. Our advisors do not have to pay for membership unless they want to, and be connected to a local chapter. A professional membership is $50, but again, advisors do not have to do that because we do realize that you are volunteers. So before you ask to be added as an advisor through the system, make sure that you create a profile and then send an email address to your regional liaisons so that they'll have your name and email address to add you under the officer tab, so then you're able to navigate through. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer?
Cecilia, I got a couple comments just in case we come against a hard stop at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
We recorded, just for everybody on the phone, we recorded a webinar last year. There was a general information about NSBE Junior. That is on YouTube, and that's available if you search on the Pre-College Initiative. This is the second webinar in that series. This is dealing with membership and registration. In the files section, you will see a document that has the 6 Kappa regional chapters and advisors who are assigned for those. That information will be updated and changed. On January 16th at 8 p.m., there's going to be another webinar that's going to focus on the NSBE Junior programs, the Lego Robotics, the Vex Robotics, the T-Mall, things of that nature. So if you go back and watch that initial webinar, we'll kind of give you a general overview of the programs. This will be more of this webinar is covering really the second step, how you register members and register for conferences, because we're going to be rolling out very, very aggressive in January, preparing for those who will be attending the National Convention in Pittsburgh. And then, as I mentioned, that webinar on January 16th we'll dig into the actual program. So that'll be kind of 3 areas that we'll have covered. I'm looking on the chat windows and see if I'm having any questions. I'm looking. Okay, Jonathan Applewhite, I'm going to try to unmute you. Hello, Jonathan. You have a question?
No, no question.
Okay. Hughes Valman. Let me unmute him. Oh, he's got himself muted. You have to take the mute off. And if you could quickly cover just what the membership costs are per year. Hello, Cecilia.
Oh, yes, I'm still here. Yes. What was that you said?
Just so everybody knows, I know you can see during the registration, but what is the membership cost and when does the membership year start?
Okay, I can definitely answer that question. I'll go back to our membership fees are $5. And we operate on a fiscal year that starts from July the 31st until July 31st. So basically, or you could put July 31st or August 1st of the next year. So, for example, our fiscal year started August 1st, 2017, and will end July 31st, 2018. If you have students that you want to sign up, you want to definitely get them signed up as soon as possible so that they can get the full benefits and make sure that they're able to get the full benefits of being a member. And we do understand that after May, you only have a few months left. So if you sign up after May 15th, your membership will be extended from May to the following July. But we want you to sign up, as soon as possible so that you can get the full benefits.
Okay. And I did see an email today that if there's going to be a webinar on scholarship opportunities for those that are seniors that can get signed up for NSBE Junior quickly, they will be eligible to apply for some of those scholarships.
Yes, any scholarships that we have that are, I think the main one that we have for our NSBE Junior members that are available is Summer Bridge. Brittany Boyd will be able to elaborate on that. I don't want to go too deep in it because membership is my wheelhouse, and
okay.
I don't want to misrepresent the type of scholarships that we have for our NSBE Junior demographic. But Brittany is here on the call, and she can take that question and make sure that she has an available answer for you the next call that we have.
That'll be great. So everybody's got something to look forward to on January the 16th at 8 p.m. when we return for our next installment of the NSBE Pre-College Initiative. I want to thank everybody who made it on the call. I want to thank Cecilia once again for assisting and giving us all this great information. And Brittany, we will look forward to hearing from you in January. And once again, I'd like to thank the Kellogg Foundation for sponsoring the Diamonds in the Rough webinar series for Kappa. And we look forward to speaking to everyone again in January.
Oh, you are most welcome, and everyone have a wonderful night. And again, thank you for this opportunity for me to really show you this process. I appreciate it.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.